Hello, everybody, and a very, very, very warm welcome to Ask the Accountant Weekly, part of the Ask the Accountant Network. This is episode number 148, and the date is the 1st of September 2026. And with me today is Jan. Jan, you finally done it. You've got rid of the dancing unicorns. Have you kept them so people, because what you should do is cut out each one, hand sign them, and pass them to the community. Is that what you've done?
No, I've not got rid of them. I have relocated to Wokingham instead. I decided the unicorns were too much. I couldn't handle it anymore. But yeah, no, I'm in Wokingham ready for meetings with TaxCalc tomorrow. But I've got a load of calls and stuff today. So traveling today just wasn't going to be a feasible option. So yeah, in Wokingham and looking forward to a day of meetings with TaxCalc tomorrow and the TaxCalc team. So yeah, how are you and how was your weekend?
Yeah, it's good. Before I go to my weekend though, how was the travel? I mean, that seems like a longer trip than just London, or what's it like?
Yeah, Wokinham's not ideal because you've got Edinburgh to London, nice and easy.
You had to do the London bit, did you? Right,
yeah, you've got to do London bit, and then you either go. So I get in at King's Cross, then you've got to get to either Paddington or Waterloo, and then get a train. So I got into London, loads of underground engineering works going on and a broken train on the Circle Line yesterday. So that took Waterloo out of the scenario. Now, if you go to Waterloo, it's a slow train, but it's direct to Wokingham. So I had to get a train to Reading and then a 10-minute train back up the line to Wokingham. I went past waving at the station I wanted to get off at because that train doesn't stop there. Bit of a fast, but hey, it's all good.
Yeah. You didn't fancy doing the Farringdon Shuffle then? The famous Farringdon Shuffle where you nip down to Farringdon on Thames Link, jump on the Lizzie line, and, you know, what could go wrong? It never went wrong for us that one time where we...
no.
What was it?
We weren't delayed by 4 hours or anything.
4 hours, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, weekend's been good. I've spent most of the weekend, being completely honest, doing a bit of a gear audit. So we are, a month away from... less than a month now, aren't we, from being in Manchester?
3 weeks.
Yeah, scary, isn't it? Really scary that that's come up so quick. So I didn't need to do a gear audit for that, and also the live stream for a certain show that we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, I was in fact, I was spending my time doing this gear audit. So for anyone who's interested, we've got a brand new camera for this time around, the FX2. So I'm very excited to test that out properly, which will make our grid walk even more spectacular. But the thing that really made me laugh with this one is I was doing my audit and then like setting things up and stripping things back down again, putting them in the right place, all that sort of stuff. I've got full-blown OCD with this sort of stuff. So if something's not in its right place, I get like antsy about it. And I'm putting stuff in. I'm going, oh, actually, no, I probably should have this as well because, you know, this wire is not quite the length that I need it to be, but I know I can get one that will do it. And then I thought, we really shouldn't have to rely on these power cables going between here and here. They just become a health hazard. So we'll get some of these V-mount battery things and all this. So I'm just adding what I call incidental costs into the Amazon thing. Yeah, it didn't become incidental when I went to check out. That was
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I've got to work with. Like, this is why we're never set up at a live event on
I had to do an audit of the audit of what I was buying it. Yeah, so there's a few items arriving today, which will, but they're literally like little tiny little things. But yeah, they soon mounted up. Right then, everyone, before we go into today's episode, which is going to be a surprise for Jan as well, because he struggled to get on the internet and stuff this morning. So I'm not even spoke about what we're going to be talking about and everything else. So this is a surprise to you, the wonderful listener, and also Jan himself. Before we go into that, speaking about the wonderful listener, let's talk about our amazing community. This is actually about, there's two bits of blasphemy, however you say it. There's two parts of it. That's it. That's the one. This one, definitely Cheryl. Good morning. I know this is blasphemy, but isn't it time Lewis Hamilton retired?
To be fair to Cheryl, he suggested the same thing 3 weeks ago.
He did.
This is the problem with all F1. Well, the majority of F1 stars is they don't know when to get out, like, because you don't know when your performance is going to tank. And there's so many that go out on a low, and actually they had an amazing career. They just needed to retire earlier than they did. Like, as much as I dislike Nico Rosberg, and I think he's an absolute pain in the backside, at least he won his championship and he bowed out. Like, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. So he retired on a high. Like, if Sebastian Vettel retired earlier, if Alonso retired earlier, if Hamilton had retired earlier, they'd have left at the pinnacle of their careers. Like, even Schumacher, Michael Schumacher, he had his pinnacle, and then he hung around for a bit, and he just gradually got worse. You think, they need to learn when to recognize it's time to quit.
I do see that, but I think a lot of it's the allure of Ferrari, isn't it? Especially Vettel and Hamilton, like both of them. It is the idea that they can have that swan song, and there's that, there is a chance that they could leave on a high of getting a World Championship title with Ferrari.
Not with a Ferrari.
Well, yeah, the current one, but it's still Ferrari, right? But when you've got, Alonso, I completely agree with, and Schumacher, I think that tainted his career, if anything else, right? And going forward, but raise one out for Lando though. Very, very upsetting. But what can you do? Like, it was out of his hands, right? Does mean that Oscar's probably going to win it, not on merit, just on, luck.
Well,
but hey, that's
the problem for Lando here is Lando doesn't do well with pressure. Like, he can buckle, he makes mistakes under pressure. Because of this engine failure, that's it now. He's now under pressure to win and to be in the top every single race to give him a chance at the championship. Yeah, and that pressure will lead to more mistakes, which will put him even further behind.
Yeah, when they're so evenly matched, definitely. But hey, speaking of blasphemy, Steph follows up with, morning, gents. Happy September, 115 days till Christmas. I mean, the worst thing is you had 31 days to that, and that's how long we got until our tax year end as well. Well, not 31. I got the maths wrong there, but
37.
37. 38 maybe. Hey, if you need an accountant, we both know how to add up. Bookkeeping Super Natasha says morning, or good morning to you, Natasha. Kirsty St. John from March says good morning everyone. Good morning to you, Kirsty. Paul says morning, good morning to you, Paul. Hope you're doing well. Mahul says good morning everyone. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Happy September to you too. Louise says morning, good morning all. Steph says 2025. Did I say 2024? I can't remember. Maybe I said, apologies if I said 2024. Paul Ingram says, Google morning. So obviously he's definitely a Google fan. Doesn't like Bing. Good morning to you too, Paul. Only joking. Thanks for joining us. And Louise Moore says, where is everyone? We're all here. We were just a bit late. 2026. Did I say 2026? Oh, wow. To be fair,
I've always said Aaron was ahead of his time.
Yeah. 2026 it's going to be a great year. Speaking of 2026 and looking forward, look at that for a segue. Teasing 150. Our episode 150 is only 2 weeks away. We need to talk off air about this because it does clash with also the preparation one for Manchester, but we'll figure that one out. But we have some very exciting stuff to tell you all about 150. We're not ready to talk about it now. We're going to save it for the 150th episode. But when we think that there is an opportunity for you guys to get even more out of Ask the Accountant, we're really excited. So without giving too much away, what do you want to talk about, kind of the tease of 150 to get people excited? What would be a little bit that you'd want to sprinkle out there?
I'm not going to sprinkle anything out there. I'm just going to say that 150 episomes in 151 weeks.
You keep bringing that one week up, don't you?
It was Christmas Day. I'm over it. I accept we couldn't work it on Christmas Day, but everybody tells us it's all about consistency. It doesn't get any more consistent than that.
No, agreed.
So, I'm looking forward to all the announcements we've got for 150th. However, the reflection and the celebration of that consistency is phenomenal. That's the bit I'm the proudest about.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Speaking of consistently, although it's only the second year, so I don't know if that quite counts. Digital Disruptors are back for their awards night for 2025. It was a tedious link, that really, wasn't it?
Very tedious link.
Do I get that as a segue? I don't know. Like, rate me out of 10 on
No.
that segue, people. In fact, rate me out. Go through. I want you to rate me on my segues today because Johan doesn't even know what's going on. I get full rating of the segues today. Yeah, so the shortlist for Digital Disruptors. Now, before we go any further, full disclosure, I am a judge for this year's event. I have no idea who's going to win or anything else. They were all blind voting for the actual final winner, so I have no idea who's going to walk away with it, but I was heavily involved in the process of making the shortlist. So yeah, we're going to quickly go through and talk about some of the shortlist nominees going forward. Oh, and also big plug for ourselves as well. On the night, we'll be helping live streaming the event, so if you want to know who wins or who doesn't win or any of the drama that's going on that particular day, then make sure to join in. I'm pretty sure it's on the Digital Disruptors YouTube channel. And also, I believe we're allowed to post it on ours as well, so it'd be good to listen. So, right, first of all, Digital Disruptor of the Year. We have Robin, Billy, Chris, Russell. Out of those four, I know least about Robin, I'll be completely honest with you. But I know the other three as well. What about you? Do you know Robin Milstead? Did you come across her before?
No, of all the awards, like, I recognise quite a few names in all the awards, but there's a lot of names I didn't recognise, which
is a good thing, right? That's an amazing.
Well, it worries me slightly. If these are disruptors, how do I not know about them? Am I out of touch? Am I getting old? Am I falling out of touch with the industry? Do I need to spend more time outside of my bubble, outside of my echo chamber to recognise more of these people? I don't know, but that was a reality check for me when that list came out and went, I don't know half of these people.
I wouldn't say half.
I'm the old man in the room now. I don't know who the cool kids are.
I have clicked on Robin's link. I do know who Robin is, so that's all good. But that's a strong list, right? I mean, it's tricky to pick. Like, if we were going to do our kind of predictions for that one, Billy every single week has spoke about AI with Fry AI.
Yeah,
I always can't figure out exactly how she's put her pun together, but it is a Fry AI basically. But every Friday she's talking about AI for the accounting industry, and this is Chris Downing's big year, isn't it? I mean, and then how many stages has he been on alone and gone and spoke about making tax digital and everything else? And Russell's a great shout out as well. So, what if you had to put someone as a potential winner there?
Billy or Chris, hasn't it? You've got Chris leading the charge on MTD IT and educating the world on that, and you've got Billy educating the world on AI. So I'd say it's between those two. And
one thing I didn't really recognize before these events is that being annual events, they really have to focus on this current year, right? When you think about Digital Disruptor Year, there's other names you could probably think of that definitely deserve to have a mention, and there was a couple that got shouted out in the post, right? But it has to be around what they've done for this year. Yeah, that's a real key aspect of it. And I think, it's really hard to argue between Billy and Chris on that one in my and I couldn't tell you which one could win it out of them ones, but we'll see on the day. Digital Firm of the Year, we've got Gravitate Accounting, shall I say. Amazing. I've been to their offices, absolutely love those guys. So yeah, good luck to them. And they were gutted not to win anything at the Accounting Excellence Awards as well, so maybe this is their opportunity. And Mazuma's there, obviously. I mean, why wouldn't Mazuma be there? Like, if you're talking digital and you're talking account, that they really defined it. They built their own software, for crying out loud. Do you know what I mean? Beaver and Strutters, obviously, they're there as well. And then friends of the show, TCS Guernsey gets a shout out and a recognition. And I'm gutted. It'll be out before, but I urge people to watch the Cool Locations episode we've done, because the amount of tech and everything else they have just in their office, like, they generally have someone sat there with a screwdriver unscrewing EPOS solutions and putting new hard drives in and everything else. So yeah, it's a really, really tough category, that one. What do you put your money on that one?
It's got to be TCS, friends of the show. Like, I question if Beaver doesn't John Toon work for Beaver?
Is it them? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Is it them, or did Ryan Percy used to work for them? I don't know. That's Murky Water.
It is John that works there. Yeah. I knew it was
Murky Water. But no, TCS, what they're doing in social media, what they're doing in EPOS, but more importantly, what they're doing to get the next generation into the industry, like, and shouting about that on social media. For me, it would be them followed by Gravitate, who also do a lot to get people into the industry. They're making the work environment very cool. So yeah, between those two for me.
And I think that's really interesting, isn't it? That the two you mentioned there, your top two there, are all about having this cool office environment and going from there. And we're in a world where when you think digital, you think remote.
Needs to be there to achieve their main goal, when their main goals are getting young people into this industry and revolutionizing the image of this industry towards young people.
Yeah, 100%. What I was trying to say there is, for me, when you really think about digital, like Utopia Digital, it's everyone's wearing a VR unit, and you know what I mean? Like that's yeah, exactly, dystopia world, isn't it? But I think in 2025, a true digital, getting digital firm of the year shout out is that environment where you're encouraging, like you said, the young people to come through, so you can learn off them, so you can understand. Do you know what I mean? There's definitely something there about that, and I think that's really, really interesting. That's kind of where the industry for 2025 is going forward. Who knows? And obviously we had the pandemic and everyone had to work from home, right? So we'll see how it goes. But it's really interesting that it's kind of gone that way. Digital disrupted deity. We have Chris Downing again. So the one and only two nomination person this time round. John Toon, well deserved. Lucy Cohen, I suppose technically Lucy gets two nominations, doesn't he? And Will Farnell. So this is always a tricky one, isn't it? Because this isn't about the year. This is about lifetime and how that's gone and the impact they've made to the industry and everything else. What a strong lineup. I mean, I don't know.
I think for me,
go for it.
It's going to be between Will Farnell, or Chris Downing. I'd say Chris Downing is at the top of my list, followed by Will.
Chris Downing takes it for me, but I think Lucy's at very close second, where it almost feels like if she wins it,
length of service in my mind.
That's true.
Chris and Will have been at this a lot longer. Has Will fallen potentially a bit out of touch? Maybe, like, he's not. I don't think he's as up to speed with the tech and stuff as he used to be. But the tech world in accounting is where it is, thanks to a lot of Will's efforts over the years. And Chris, he's grassroots, isn't he? Like, yes, he's in software, but he came up. He loves telling his story about how he came up and what the first accounting firm was like he worked with, and the first computer they used and stuff. And I just think, lifelong service award, and continuing to champion the next wave of change in form of MTD VAT and then MTD IT and AI Copilot and stuff. So, for me, Chris Downing. His head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as head and shoulders, but I think personally, I think that would be a good win there. Digital marketing of the year. We have Free Agent for sending or doing MTD in space. We've got Sage for their recent EPL, like Gary Neville and stuff like that on screen, all that sort of stuff. Obviously, Rachel, whatever accountant she with. I mean, she went to the Prime Minister this time, and she went to Downing Street to interview him. So, don't know if you can get much higher than that one in terms of opportunities. And then, absolutely love the shout out, Tom Herbert. Like, for the accounting bites and everything else that goes forward and everything else that's there. Amazing lineup there. Oh, it's a tough one to call on this one. I think, yeah, go for it.
You've got two very different groups of people, groups there. You've got Sage and Free Agent, who have marketed to the masses, to the general population.
Agreed.
And then you've got Rachel, who, yes, she's met the Prime Minister and stuff, but actually, how wide is that reach outside of our industry? I don't know. And then you've got Tom, again, legend of a man, but again, how are we awarding based on the reach of numbers, or the effort Tom has put in for years and years to bring us all with the latest news, etc. Like, we interviewed Tom a while back now, and he was one of the guys that I really wanted on our podcast at some point when we first started, just because he's an absolute legend. So, personal contribution to the industry, it's got to be Tom for me over the years. Making people aware of, at a wider level, of the importance of accounting and bookkeeping and tech within that space, it's got to be Free Agent or Sage. It's what's more, it's a really tough call. I don't quite. I'm glad I'm not a judge, because I'd still be deliberating about it and have not sent my recommendations in.
Maybe some of us missed the deadline because they're still debating it. It's really tough, this, isn't it? Really tough. I part of me just feels like Free Agent and Sage, they'll get their recognition through great sales anyway, or new people signing up. I think I'm a bit, is selfish the right word, or self thingy, and for me, the independent content creator for me will get me more excited, put it that way. Although what Free Agent did was absolutely amazing. I'm still a bit bitter that you said that it was better than me doing it in VR, but whatever. Hold my beer was your exact phrase. And again with Sage, I think, especially when you look at what they did with the you were talking about the rugby and stuff, weren't you? Like how they were putting the analytics in and stuff like that.
Sage seems to be consistently nailing that approach towards the general public.
100%.
Because let's face it, QuickBooks and Xero aren't.
And the UK, or both from a UK base, right? So it's quite nice to have that kind of UK representation in the media of them. But no, I mean, both for accountancy and Tomo, but I couldn't pick between them really. I think Tom Herbert wins it for me, just because of the amount of consistently from the tech side that he's really nailed it. Like, we're talking digital
he was
marketing.
Doing tech and talking tech in this space before anybody else was. Like, we're proud of our 150 weeks out of 151 weeks consistency. But Tom's been at this in one media form or another for a long time.
Yeah, he probably did 500, right?
Like, you and I are, we owe a lot to Tom in the form of showing us that what can be done, and that there is excitement about the technology in this space. So personally, I think it needs to go to Tom, but we shall see on the night.
We will see. And again, full disclosure, I have no idea. Digital Newcomer of the Year, this was your award. So I don't know if I still don't know if we're supposed to hand them back or not. My mind sat there. So whoever out of Robin, Billy, or Chris or Russell gets it, then you could borrow it if you want to, but I'd like it back. No, I know they get a new one, but yeah. But whoever does win mine, though, you need to take a photo of yourself lying in bed next to it. So that's what I did with mine. Digital Newcomer of the Year, then. So this is a really, I remember this being a really tasty one talking about. So RQ coming through. My argument is, are they quite a newcomer? But we can debate that one. Adfin and Adsum as your other two there. I know which one I like. Definitely would love to see recognised from there. I think Adfin's done an amazing job. Adsum, great fantastic piece of tech and everything else, but still not 100% convinced about its longevity of it at the moment, but we'll see how that goes. And RQ, love the guys over at RQ, think it's a great platform and everything else. I mean, they're integrated with you, right? I just feel like Adfin's done so much in such a short amount of time. I think it's just insane.
I think they've all got big ambitions.
Yeah.
And big goals to help revolutionize their separate areas of the industry.
Yeah.
I feel RQ's well on the way to doing it. But Adfin are there, they're doing it. Like,
yeah, but in fairness, they're in a much bigger pool. And
yeah.
Adfin are going in as a very small fish in a very big pond, aren't they? Where RQ's pretty much got the pool to themselves, really. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, Adfin are banking on the fact of benefiting from the fact that Go Cardless, Stripe, and everyone's already done the work in on educating us on the benefits of payments. Adfin are now going, look, you understand the benefits of payments. Now let's make this even easier, quicker, and cheaper. Right. So yeah, out of the three, it'd be Adfin for me, followed by RQ.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. And then the final one is release of the year. Now I can't say anything on this because I don't think it's been released. The final, what to call it? But if you had a choice to make, or if you had someone you think should be recognised, who would you see as the release of the year?
I don't know. I feel last year was more groundbreaking for releases of software than this year.
100%. Yeah, I'd agree on that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what's really stood out. And that wasn't just a marketing gimmick or an announcement. Like, we can all announce stuff, but actually the release actually needs to be the proper full-blown release, not a minimum viable product.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one I'm curious to see what happens there. Obviously, Engager won that last year, but it wasn't for
one of... Was that the one you won, or was it Newcomer? Did I get it wrong?
We won Release of the Year. We didn't get Newcomer.
Sorry.
So Release of the Year was Engagers last year, and it was not for one sole release. It was for the consistent delivery of releases throughout the year and for the way we announce them and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm curious.
I know the shortlist. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised. I just know it's going to be a tough one to pick between. So there we are. There is the Digital Disruptor Awards 2000, and hats off to them. Now that I've kind of seen a bit more of the background as well behind the scenes, because the judging and everything else, like Ryan purposely won't he'll facilitate the judging, but he won't have any kind of sway in it because he doesn't feel like that's fair. Same with John and Indy as well. So really, I think the industry needs this, right? Because they're the only one that's pushing other than Lucas, as I say as well, but really pushing the software, right? And the software is the bit that really gets me excited. Like, that's the bit that we can have a debate on, we can shout about, we can pick sides on, and everything else. Sometimes when we go to Accounting Excellence, as much as I love that award, I'll sit there sometimes and I won't even know half the entrants, so it's difficult for me to get excited. And typically all I'm doing is rooting for the people I know, or the people I'm friends with, sort of thing, right? And they're the ones I want to win the categories, when it might be someone way more deserving. But when it comes to the tech side of things, I think we can all have a debate and all have a decision, and because we've all used it, we've all understood it, right? We've all kind of gone in there. So yeah, I'm really excited for the event. I think it's going to be a good little show again, and fingers crossed we get some great little winners. Oh, and I did push to him as well that I believe there should be a podcasting award this time next year. So we'll see how that goes. We shall see.
No one else has listened to us about that. So, but yeah.
Because it wasn't really. Part of me was thinking, well, do we try and,
there is an award missing from last year.
Yes. Yeah.
Which was the controversial one, wasn't it? It's the Digital Dishwater Award.
It was. What do you feel about that going away? What's your thought on it?
I mean, I completely get it. If they wanted any backing from software companies and endorsements and stuff, they were going to have to scrap such a negative award. I know they tried to make it as constructive as possible, but ultimately the stigma was negative with that. So yeah, I mean, because Go Proposal won that last year, and Chris Downing went on stage and magnanimously collected that award and apologized, etc. But I'm not surprised it's gone. But I also feel like it was part of those guys' personality, was the honesty to call it out.
Yeah.
But ultimately, anything like this has got commercial ties, so you've got to protect that commerciality of your enterprise and your initiative. So I completely get why they've done it.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? But yeah, it's just a shame that the industry took it so negatively, right? Like you said, it was supposed to be in a constructive format, and a tongue-in-cheek, right? And it just didn't get taken that way. Sue Green says, good morning. Oh, a little late. I remember when you wanted to set another start again. After 52. So yeah, at one point we were going to only do a year, weren't we, and kind of move on from there. Okay, says, yes, looking forward to the live stream. Was a bit ropey last year. Ouch, I've tried my best. No, you're right. Yeah, we fixed it. Yeah, we think we fixed that issue, but who knows? Who knows how that's going to go? It is generally the internet. It was also, like we asked for a wide internet connection. That didn't happen, and hopefully this time that's going to happen. So fingers crossed. Didn't Chris get the wooden spoon last year on behalf of Go Proposal? What a turnaround! Yeah, exactly. And that's the point, right? Like they felt like they were accountable on it, and hopefully they learned from it.
I wouldn't say it's a turnaround because it's not Go Proposal that's now award nominated. It's Chris is just award nominated for multiple reasons. So I wouldn't say it's a turnaround for Chris. I'd say Go Proposal won that award last year for under-delivering to its users. Chris, fair play to him, stepped up on behalf of Go Proposal and Sage and took the award and apologised and took on board the feedback. But so I don't think it's a turnaround. I think it's just Chris having that was a commercial brand of Go Proposal that Chris dealt with, whereas Chris's personal brand is what's being recognised in these awards and nominations this year.
100%. And then we got a lot of love for TCS. So Curtis says, vote for TCS. Steph says, vote for TCS. Team TCS here. And Mahal says, Team TCS. Well deserved. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Let's fingers crossed from on the night. Okay. And again, you can watch live over on the YouTubes. Next topic of the day. Speaking of events, speaking of being at events, it's XeroCon this year, or this week, should I say, in sunny Australia, down in, I want to say Sydney, Brisbane, maybe. I don't really understand Australia's geography. It's, they've got such a big landmass, and don't they only have like 3 key cities or 4 key main cities or something like that? So they're in one of those ones anyway. XeroCon. So this really is, I would say for them, this has to be a big showing. Like they need this to be, let's blow people away, especially when they
over style.
Yeah, 100%. This has to be a big one. What did make me laugh though was a little news article that came out just before, and it says so obviously they want this to be positive, right? This is their XeroCon. Everything needs to like be shining. So, and I feel like this was done on purpose, that it was kind of put to the news press before, so that hopefully everyone listens to it. But it says last week 48.74% of Xero shareholders voted against CEO's pay packet of a 23.5 million pay packet, and then this particular one, and he's the co-founder of Rechargely, so it was all tongue-in-cheek and talking about it. We're talking about how, well, if they've got 4.4 million users, why don't they just increase their subscription by £6 per year, and then they can make up that 23.5 million, no problem. And then he went on to actually going through how you could use Rechargely then to make it nice and easy to recharge your clients. But it feels like then isn't that worrying that the kind of shareholders aren't 100% behind them? Like, doesn't that show you a little bit of a discontent in the camp, if you like? Because from Zero's point of view, they are at a very critical juncture in my eyes. Like clearly they are market leaders in the UK. Clearly they're market leaders in, Australia and New Zealand and everything else. They need to break the American market to take them to the next step, don't they? If they're not 100% back in their CEO, doesn't that show you there's a little bit of kind of discontent there? But yeah, what do you think? I mean, what do you think they need to announce at ZeroCon to turn the tide for you?
I mean, for ZeroCon, I think we need to see the next step of Jax. Like, we need to see Agent AI. We need to see where they're taking all of that to be on a par with QuickBooks and Sage Copilot. That's what I imagine. That's what their sales teams are crying out for. Is like, guys, we're getting slapped around with AI here. Like, we need some help. We need the development team to bloody well deliver on this. Because they've said recently there's no more major functionality changes or anything to bring in. They're happy with where it all is.
Yeah. Purely acquisition based now, isn't it? Is that like big push?
So and they've just announced the acquisition of that payment provider over in the US, which is obviously a play to help increase their foothold in the US. Sift Analytics seems to be more online for them, and that's available in product now. So I think for them it's a continued refinement of what they've got, but they've got to do something with Jax, otherwise they're going to be falling behind.
I think the difficulty is, though, what can they do with Jax? Like, they still haven't told us what Jax is. Like, is it a Gemini? Like, there's these rumors, isn't there, that it's very Gemini based. The fonts quite like, and it seems like it could be a part of the Gemini suite or using their language, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
If it is, then there's opportunity there in my eyes. Like, I think, tell us all, like, be honest with us, but we can then get excited about, well, Gemini's just released this, so surely that's good. You know what I mean? Like, we can see the development of that.
Yeah, I think it needs to go down the Agent AI agent route that Sage and QuickBooks are both going down, where you've got the agent that will do your credit control, blah blah blah. So I think that's what they'll probably announce, but who knows?
But if you say that, like you said there, that they're not looking to really add development internally, the AI is going to be the biggest amount of investment that they'll probably ever.
But is that not just refinement of their current AI? They've come up with this concept of Jax. Now they've got to refine it.
Yeah.
So it won't be as much a brand new feature. This is just Jax being refined to the next level.
Okay. So as a counterpoint to that, then, do you think that Apple and Siri just needs refinement? Like, as in before Apple Intelligence, if this was just Siri and you got told by them, oh, they're just going to refine it, you'd be like, don't care. You wouldn't have any excitement out of that, would you?
It's a refinement of it now being AI based. I mean, because Apple were the leaders in voice-powered assistants on phones for a long time, but they fell behind. I don't know. I mean, because then you look at people like Microsoft, who have just announced Copilot for Excel, and in the same sentence said, don't use it for anything financial or where the accuracy is dependent on. So that's what I use Excel for.
Yeah. What else am I going to use this new AI for?
So actually, it's not fit for purpose. Why have you put it into Excel if you can't use it to analyze data and rely upon its accuracy? AI's got to be where they're looking now to stay in line with Sage and QuickBooks in the UK alone. Whether they do that through their own development or through acquisitions and then bring that in under the Jax part of branding, I don't know. Because that's what they did with Sift Analytics, wasn't it? They brought in Sift, which was a standalone reporting suite with AI abilities and undersung undervalued AI abilities, some of the best application of AI I've seen in the industry so far. And now they've embedded that into to enhance the reporting. They've used that product to refine their reporting suite in Xero. So is it a case of terminology? Is what you and because I would say actually what they've done there is they've improved, they've redeveloped and launched a feature.
They bought best in class
in their reporting.
Right? Yeah, they bought best in class. That's fair to say, isn't it?
So would QuickBooks define the launch of their new reporting tool, reporting technology?
Yeah.
In Xero's world, they see that as a refinement. In QuickBooks, it's a brand new feature. So is it just marketing spin? Is it terminology?
I think it's a new feature when it's bringing something new to it, isn't it? Like new to the table.
In that case, then I'd say Xero reporting isn't a refinement; it's a new feature. But Xero aren't saying it's a new feature; they're saying it's a refinement.
No, because they acquired that, didn't they? They didn't build on their existing product, which is the right thing to do. They bought best in class. Like, well done to them. Like, absolutely bought best in class. Yes, they're going to get a lot of benefit from the AI from there. Maybe they rebrand it as Jax. Maybe they don't. Whatever they want to do with that, that's absolutely. I think it's going to come out the same, right? Like, however they decide to wash it. But is that enough? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a Xero user now, I'd want XeroCon to be the one that gets me excited again. Like, they need that excitement, surely.
We say that about every event. Like, Accountex in May is about getting us excited about the year ahead of technology. QuickBooks Connected or Get Connected, whatever the terminology is these days, in February, that's the point where we're hoping for excitement for the vision of the year ahead.
Agree,
like
but
Apple, WW, like that's about exciting us about the future. So XeroCon has to be about that. Yes. How they do that?
They haven't in the past. Like, look at last year's. Last year's was, I can't remember actually. but we had
the year before that was Xero Go, which didn't go anywhere. So yeah, I don't know.
And surely with it being in, yeah, but with it being in Australia, yeah, but with it being Australia, you can't really expect nothing major for the UK market, right? Like, they're not going to release a MTD solution there. They'll be crazy, right? Like, it'd be absolutely mental for that. So, you know, your expectations got to be it's got to be something that's for the
crazy. Because they're very big on making this a global event. So would that, by announcing, oh, by the way, in the UK, we're going to be doing this, does that not add to that messaging of this is a global event now? We don't just have siloed XeroCons anymore. We have a global event that moves around the globe, and we announce things for across the globe and different sections of the globe at this global event. In my head, that works.
Does it though? Because you want, if you're going to
deliver it and execute it, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because if you want to deliver a whole new SKU, which is effectively what a new MTD platform would be, you'd want the press there. You'd want like people talking about it, right? And they're not going to. If anything, the half your audience or maybe more will be put off by an announcement for another. You know what I mean? Like, unless they can make it in something that can work the whole of the globe. But I don't know. I just feel like
I think if you're going to announce it. If they're going to announce it in Australia, then the London office will be prepped, ready to hit the press. Like, you know, Apple announces things at a global level, right?
Yeah.
But then it has to refine as to whether it's applicable in certain countries, especially with AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it can be done. We see other softwares do this quite a lot. So it'll be interesting. I mean, it'd be a hell of a statement from them if they make this global XeroCon that they now have truly global. Sage and QuickBooks are going to have to surely stop and go, oh Christ. That's a stronger message than our siloed messages.
Yeah, maybe.
Like global domination versus Australia, America, the UK, where it feels more fragmented.
It does. We'll see. I feel like they need something big, and for me, their biggest weaknesses at the moment is, well, going up and going down, right? Like they don't have an intact competitor. They don't have an Intuit Enterprise competitor. They don't have anything below that, right? Sage, I forget what it's called, but their free version for MTD, and then QuickBooks as sole trader. Like they're not.
And they've got Xero Simple, whether its functionalities on
rebranded the same product, right? Like that's absolutely not the same thing, is it? Both Sage and QuickBooks went for simplicity. Both Sage and QuickBooks went for trying to make it as user-friendly as possible.
They just decided that's not, like, when you look at most softwares in this space, they isolate their niche of an industry. Like if you look at Digita, for example, they're not interested in your one-man accounting firms.
Agreed.
They're mid to large firms, right? Engager, we focused on the small to medium. Bright Manager, small to medium. Have Xero gone, like the top of small and medium, that's our comfort zone. That's what we're focused on.
Potentially, but yeah.
Whereas QuickBooks and Sage are a bit like, oh, we're trying to do it all for all of them.
Yeah.
And actually, are we delivering anything for any of them? Like Free Agent, small businesses, that is their focus. And they deliver for small businesses.
But I can see it working for Free Agent. But Xero are trying to win America, right? They're trying to go there. I mean, they're looking to pay their CEO £23.5 million. So they're obviously wanting big aspirations and going for the big points, right? Like, I just feel like they need to show something to the Xero people. Like, all they're doing is basically making it so their Xero customers have got a ceiling and they've got a floor. Like, that's all they're doing. They're putting that there, where other software doesn't give that limitation, and it's going to be difficult, isn't it? I just feel like they need to bring something to the
ceiling and that floor, but you've got global dominance in each and every market. Then is that delivering what the investors and shareholders are looking for? Probably. Like if they went into America and dominated
their accountants,
then QuickBooks could be in trouble.
But when one of your stakeholders
don't pay the bills.
No, but when your stakeholders are the accountants, they're going to need assistance for delivering MTD, for example, right? I just don't feel like they've got a solution for MTD yet. Like, and we're not far away from it. It's so much so that even at the moment you can't file your MTD through Xero. They've not got, they've not put that investment into it. So
I think
we'll see. I mean, proofs in the point. And now it was on MTD Watch. We've got someone in the pilot now. They can't file at the moment, so it'll come. Right. It'll happen, but it's just not happened yet. Paul says Xero always felt like it was targeting the bookkeeping professional. Yeah, well, is it the bookkeeping? Well, I suppose it is. Yeah, that's a good shout, isn't it? But
if they're targeting
bookkeeping to what level?
Yeah,
you can't do the high.
Targeting medium-sized businesses, then most of them will have a bookkeeping professional.
Bookkeeper, yeah, to do it. Give them the right tool to do the job. Yeah. Awesome. What is our final bit of news as we got 10 minutes to go? Let's go for Tax Scout, because I thought this was quite a good idea here. So we were talking about the other day about Guernsey, and now Guernsey had this amazing dashboard, and in this amazing dashboard, when you log into their equivalent of HMRC, you go in and you can see all that information there. Well, hold my beer, says Jonathan Gaunt, and he asked his son to help him build a solution. Now, not played with it, full disclosure, no idea if it's even going to get off the ground. But he did kind of put his brief on to the internet for all to see. And the idea is, what about if you logged into HMRC port into this thing and it gathered all the information from your agent portal, corporation tax, PAYE, self-assessment and VAT, all in one beautiful dashboard, refreshed automatically every day. So very similar to, I suppose, AdSum's kind of approach and trying to build it from there. But I thought there's a cool idea. I mean, this is what we're desperate for HMRC to give us, right? Like, we've wanted it for so long. It was even more interesting on this post as well, is how Sam Wood from HMRC themselves was like, really? That's the question. And says he needs a demo to see how it's put together. So even HMRC themselves are like, is it possible?
HMRC, like, we found this at Engager with HMRC and their MTD, IT and VAT agent authorization process. They themselves weren't aware of what's possible.
It's mad, isn't it? Mad. I
mean, if the software's pushing to find out and testing, we'll never know. So it'd be an interesting one
and they've
to watch.
given zero support for the likes of you, right? Like, they've never brought practice management into the conversation until recently, right? And really, practice management should have been forefront of, right, you want access to people's tax information, you want access to their, you want to qualify that the national insurance number they gave us is correct. Like, that's what we should be getting from our practice management solution, right? And the reason we haven't been able to get that is because they weren't talking to practice management about what could be there. And there was so much opportunity. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they can make this work and build this in, because I think, quite an exciting little prospect, isn't it? And I know AdSum's kind of there, but to me, they went around it in a really weird way where they only focus on one tax and they kind of added another one on, and it felt a little disjointed, right? But if Tax Scout can nail that one dashboard to rule them all, I'm interested, because again, I've seen the light now. I've seen Guernsey's done it. Like, literally, you log in and there it is. There's what what's happening. There's who's missed. There's who's filed their own, and it's those little things that, as practice managers, frustrate us, isn't it? Where you've got that annual client who hasn't signed their engagement letter yet, so you don't 100% know if they do want it or not. But if they go and file their own, or someone else has filed it for them, not to think about resourcing it, right? There's nothing worse than them suddenly signing up and you're going, right, now I've got to figure out how to resource that now, because they've left it till the nth hour or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah,
that information's there for us, and we should just be able to gather that information and run our practices based on that, right? We should be reacting to it, not having to always fight it back. So I know how excited your community has been, the Engager community has been about getting Xenon information in there. It's amazing, right? It's absolutely, like, completely revolutionized the way that you can do the work. But the question's always been, why did we need Xenon to provide us that information? Why can't we've just got that from the source, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, they do an amazing job. We love them. Yeah. Love Xenon. Amazing job. That, hats off to them. But we shouldn't, that should be a choice to us, that we want enhanced data from Xenon, or we go straight to the source. And it feels like this is going to be the same here, isn't it? It looks like we're going to rely on a third party to deliver this to us, than having to, go straight to HMRC to get that information. And it just, it puts a bad taste in your mouth, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. So yeah, it's become the vein of my life, as APIs and what they can and can't do, and what we would, as users, we would want them to do, and what actually they can do. Like, even with the Xenon one, and using it for the last week in my firm, I've come up with a hit list of things I want them to now go out and add on to their API, so we can get hold of them in Engager. So yeah, and no doubt what will happen is that, it's an API they've wanted for years, right? And they've never been able to get it. And if they could produce that information, they would already produce the information, right? And it exactly becomes there. So yeah, it's definitely one to look out for, I think. Tax Scout, seeing what's there, give some competition to the AdSum kind of world as well, and kind of go through from there. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, and the fact he's got his son to build it for him, I think, so
quite a nice little story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there we have it. We do have one more bit. We'll say that till next week. I've got a feeling it's going to be quiet news weeks coming up until Manchester comes along, right? Because why would people release or talk or put anything out now? You might as well wait until Manchester, haven't you?
I'll go tell our dev team to take a holiday, shall I?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't release any of that. Hold up, wait.
Then you know it's Manchester next week or week after or whenever it is. But yeah. Interesting times ahead. But hopefully we'll have some news about ZeroCon. Hopefully it'll get to our shores. I'd imagine. I mean, back to your point, if it doesn't get to us, then it isn't a global event, then is it? Like if we don't get to hear about it, then going from there. I mean, the amount of hoops I have to jump through to get the Intuit information from Get Connected in the US, right? It almost becomes like they're almost putting barriers up, right? So hopefully this isn't going to be the case. Hopefully it's going to have the opportunity to see it. I can't remember how it was last time that it wasn't in the UK, how easy it was to get the information. So we shall see.
I imagine we'll all be looking at Tom Herbert for leading the way on this.
Do you think he got sent out there?
We got sent out there or not, I don't know, but we might have a video link.
Yeah, but we're good to see. Yeah, but I mean, if anyone knows anyone out there, let us know. Maybe we can get them to give us some insights. Right. Well, actually, no. The one person who will be there will be Van der Beek. So maybe we'll reach out to him, see what he says. Okay, cool. Well, that's it. That's another exciting episode of Ask the Accountant, brought to you by the Ask the Accountant Network. On the network this week, we've got some really cool things. We've got QuickBooks Labs going live tomorrow, I believe, where we talk about the whole new user interface and how it's going down. And MTD Watch is Sam Mitchum this week, where we talk about all things Sage, and she's got the task of basically telling us why she thinks Sage is the right solution for MTD. So we're going to find out what's on there. Jan, what have you got in store this week other than a nice little trip to the world of tax calc, haven't you?
Yeah, so tax calc meetings tomorrow, travel back on Wednesday. There's lots and lots going on with development at the moment in Engager, keeping me rather busy. So basically watch this space.
Nice one. Looking forward to it. Paul says, running off the day, there's too many exclusive departments in HMRC. Clients still wonder why they need multiple authorization for different taxes. That's the world of it. Making tax digital was supposed to promise us, right? One login to rule them all. We will see. I mean, yeah. I mean, they can't even give us a client list, so
yeah. I'm not getting too excited about this.
My breath is officially being held. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining in and keeping us honest. Remember, if you want to keep us honest and you're listening to it, make sure you use that link below. I did actually forget to even check to see if anyone sent any feedback or thing in, but we'll talk about it next week. Don't you worry about it.
We'll talk about it next week.
Definitely. All right, everyone, have a great day, and we will see you same time, same place for Ask the Accountant episode number 149. See you then. Bye.
See you next week.